talk about what's coming up. And welcome again to OMSI. And it's always fun to talk about what has happened in just in the years past. And so first of all, SpaceX has returned. There we go. Okay, SpaceX has returned back to Earth. So what's special about this? See this guy right here with the thumbs up? That's Dr. Mike Barrett. He is from Cambridge, Washington. He's a huge ally of OMSI and a good friend of mine. And so he was able to get up there for the third time for 6 months on the International Space Station. He returned home safely. I actually got to talk to him while he was on the space station. And so he made a splash landing. Well, this one was interesting. Something happened in the landing. And look at Mike's reaction. He can barely wait to get out. And look what's his reaction. Onward. Okay? So something happened during the splash landing. Apparently they got very, very sick, seasick. Okay? And so they really wanted to get out of the capsule very quickly. We had the range crossing just past March. What's the range crossing? That means that when you look at Saturn, you're looking at the ring edge on. For the past 14 years, we saw the northern hemisphere. For the next 14 years, we'll see the southern hemisphere. If you look at Saturn now, it's barely tilted at 2 degrees. And so you can still see the ring, but you can see the shadow of the ring on Saturn with the telescope. So that's what's happening. Anybody remember the lunar eclipse? Very cloudy now. However, right at the peak, what happened? Clouds separated. Okay? And so we were going to do a star party, there was no chance. But right at the peak, it broke open. And so we had a beautiful lunar eclipse. And I'm going to talk about the one coming up next year. And this was the first time I've always wanted to see this. We got an image from the moon of the Earth during a lunar eclipse. And this was the mission called the Firefly. We were able to take the picture of the Earth during the lunar eclipse. You can see the ring, that's the diamond ring on Earth, not the moon. Pretty cool picture. Then we had a planet parade last February. A lot of people were talking about that. We had Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Venus, Neptune, Mercury, and Saturn. It's a rare event. So that was fun. Last year we had Comet Atlas, and it was pretty cloudy during that time period. But down in Klamath Falls, they would get a shot of Comet Atlas. And then, here's a fun one. You may not remember, doorbells are everywhere now. You bring doorbells and cameras and so on. If you listen carefully, I'm going to play it for you. You're going to see a meteor. Okay, listen carefully. Goodness, what happened? A meteorite hit the ground. Okay, yeah, that was slow motion. Okay, and there it is. Wouldn't it be a showcase to have that in your own driveway? Okay. And this is the result. That person should charge a million just to show that. Okay. So the rare event be captured and see it right there. That was pretty fun. And Hubble celebrated its 35th anniversary. It's an amazing observatory. Okay? And one of the things that's important to point out, percentage of the sky observed, 0.1% in 35 years, or 1%. That's amazing. And millions of images and so on. And it's on the backup computer system, Windows Vista operating system. Okay? Taking many, many gorgeous pictures, Milky Way, galactic neighborhood, incredible images. And so we were fortunate to still have Hubble in addition to the James Webb. And then our friend Don Pettit from Silverton, Oregon, was able to go up on the space station. So for a short time, Mike Barrett and Don Pettit, two Oregonians, were on the space station for a couple months. Okay? So that was the first. And he celebrated his landing on his 70th birthday. What a birthday present, okay? And so people were really worried about Don. If you look at the picture, he didn't look well. Well, he came home, he looks just fine. I love the growth that he had. It was a physiological thing. It affects different people different ways. Some people can go out, eat pizza, and dance. When I land, I take about 24 hours and feel like a human being again. That's Don. Right? So, it was fun to talk to Don and Mike while they were on the space station. And then we have 3I, not 3-1. 3I is the comet that everybody is talking about, the Devil's Comet, or the spaceship. Be careful with those third-party sites. But it is a very interesting object because it may be older than our own solar system. And it's been out there for billions of years. And it's at a hyperbolic orbit. It's not an orbit around the sun. It has its own orbit. And so this one's been getting a lot of attention. And then James Webb continued to take amazing pictures of the galaxies and so on. And now we have the Rubin. Rubin is gorgeous. It's like taking your own camera and making it an observatory to observe the entire sky. And so it's sending back incredible images of the night sky, and it does it in real time. And so, like this here, the lagoon, another gorgeous picture. You take that with your camera. Well, that's what the Rubin is doing. And then what it's doing is taking terabytes of data every week, and they send it out for analysis for looking at objects of the night sky. And then, turn off the audio, but here we have, these are asteroids. And these asteroids were discovered in one day of finding. Okay, that's really loud, okay? And then we also find pulsars, okay? Then we have the passing of James Lovell, Jr. I was fortunate to meet him once in Chicago, okay? But our beloved astronaut passed away not too long ago, and I'm sure many of you recognize him. And he spent 715 hours in space, including the Gemini, the Apollo, and of course Apollo 13. That was the most memorable event. That's the one that didn't get to land on the moon. But he's quite a gentleman and with many honors. So we're definitely going to miss Jim Lovell. And then we had another lunar eclipse that happened. That was just on the other side of the world last November. Not too long ago. Okay, when was this? But this was the other lunar eclipse, but it's on the other side of the world. We had ours last year. The other side of the world had this year, and this is quite a shot right there. Hey, sunspots. I know somebody's going to be, Kyle's going to talk about sunspots here. But we passed the peak last August of 2024, and we reached a peak of about 215 last August, and the trend is now going down. That August 2024, August 2025, we got down to 133, and it's still going down. There's a trend, and these are sunspot counts, still going down, and get down to 75. But that doesn't mean that's going to stop any corona mass ejection, the storm. In fact, the last 2 nights, we've had some sighting of the northern lights. So for the next 5 years, we'll continue to get the northern lights display. Okay, this one is almost the news every week. 1 to 2 Starlink satellites are falling back to the Earth each day, constantly getting reports about them, constantly. And the way you can tell the difference between falling human satellites, which is a meteorite or an asteroid, when you see a meteor, it'll only last for a few seconds. When you have a man-made object, it lasts for several seconds. That's how you tell the difference between the two. So it's pretty regular. Now, if you look at this video here, they're everywhere. Okay? And so right now we're up to 8,500 Starlink satellites currently in orbit. Okay? And they have definitely been showing up in a lot of images for astrophotography. And this is the position of all these satellites. Isn't that a mess? Yeah. So we're not able to see them, but still they're visible, especially after sunset, before sunrise. But you look at that map, that's pretty overwhelming. And there's more to come. It could be as many as 10,000 or 15,000 in the future. Hey, something coming soon. Hey, so many people have been talking about this comet Lemon. And the good news is it's in the circumpolar region of the sky. Now currently just below the handle of the Big Dipper, and it's just starting to be visible, barely. But being circumpolar, meaning you can see it from sunset to sunrise, you look toward the north. This Monday night we should be able to see it right in the area by Arcturus. And then next Friday is supposed to be the brightest. It should be visible to the human eye by next Friday. It's comet Lemon, and then will disappear again. But it could be really close to the sun. Right after sunset, look toward the north, you see Arcturus, then you see the comet. Use your camera, it's your best bet. Get the image of the comet. And so, it's about 52 million miles away, but it's bright. And the nucleus is about 2 miles wide. So keep your eye out for comet Lemon. And then we have the supermoon. Okay? And what's happening in the month of November, December, and January, we have the full moon. Perigee means close, apogee means far. So when we have those two combinations, we have what's called the supermoon. I'm okay calling it supermoon rather than perigee, which is easier. Supermoon. So get people talking about it, get people going out and looking at it. So November 5th, perigee and the full moon happen on the same day. What does that mean? That means the king tide. Okay? And if you lived in Oregon long enough, you know what this is. November, December, and January expected to be a beautiful, a spectacular king tide, with the high tides are higher, and it could be as much as 10 feet. Wow. And so that should be put on the show, but don't get too close to the beach. But you can get some good shots of the king tide. And then, February 17th, we have the annular solar eclipse. Well, it's not going to be visible here, but technically there's an eclipse. If you want to make a trip to Antarctica, you can see the annular eclipse. Then we have a lunar eclipse. Look at the shadow. Portland, right there. We're able to see the lunar eclipse on March 2nd and 3rd. And bring your coffee out, because the totality is going to be at 4 o'clock, at 3:30 a.m. And so, you might want to skip work the next day. Okay? And then everybody talking about the solar eclipse on August 12th. Could be over Iceland and Spain. While you talk about amount of area for coverage, everybody cannot get to Iceland. They just can't. It's too crowded, very few rows, very, very expensive. The lowest speed I have ever seen about going to see the eclipse in Iceland is $5,000 a person. You go on a cruise ship. Spain would be your best bet, but what a sight. August 12th, peak of the Perseid meteor shower. 2-minute totality, northern lights, volcanoes. That's a nice science package. Okay? So the peak of the Perseid meteor shower, you see the eclipse, 2 minutes, done. You see the meteor shower, great show, new moon. Okay? And so, not bad, but it's expensive. I was tempted to go, but I have a hard time paying $5,000 for a 2-minute totality. And down at OMSI, we're doing now called Monitor of the Abyss, which just opened up, and we'll be here till September. And this is a fun exhibit about the reptiles, the predators, past and present. So I encourage you to come and check it out. And with that, hope you enjoyed the presentation, and good luck to all the forecasters. We look forward to what we're gonna end up here for the winter, this year. So thank you for coming, everybody.